Are you as dumb as me? Probably not, because I'm the most smartest. That's why I decided, not them, me, to use Anchor.fm for our podcast. It's been the most easiest way for us to do our thing.
You vid.
Also, it's free, and we've established that I'm broke, right? Oh, no? Well, I am. And I bet you are too if you're thinking about starting a podcast. I bet you're so broke that you don't even have a custom-built home studio.
With your broke ass.
Doesn't matter, because Anchor FM works right off your phone or your computer. That's right. I know what you're thinking. Crazy Uber Ramblings podcast that you've been mulling around in your head for a little while now. It's possible.
Hey, guys, so where are we going today, guys?
Hey, can we go to that place, Pulaski, Tennessee, where the birthplace of,
No. Could you please exit my vehicle, sir? Thank you.
And something amazing like that will be immediately put out everywhere. Not only the biggies, but places you don't even know exist. Breaker, Overcast, Radio Public. What even are
fuck
those?
is that?
I don't know. Now, let's talk money. I knew that'd get your attention. You can make money with no minimum listenership, right? So let's think about Uncle Jimmy Ray.
I love it.
He loves it so much that Crazy Uber Ramblings, he starts paying a monthly subscription, and companies start paying you to talk about their shit. Now you're rolling in it. So are you the smartest and want to use a site that has all you need in one place? Then you should use Anchor.fm. That's ANCHOR.FM. Come on, dummy. Do it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Friends, Facts, and Fiction. As always, this episode is made possible by our local convenience stores, the misappropriation of history, and you. And now to your hosts, Justin Hammonds, Grant Bramlett, and Drew Shellnut.
What's up? What's happening, world? This is episode 10.1, I guess.
Sure, 10.2, whatever you want to call it.
10.2, whatever. 10.2, yeah. Blackout episode. We're back on it. If last episode pissed you off a little bit, I'm happy for you, because hopefully you learned something. And if it made you happy that you learned something, then cheers to you.
Yeah, let's be friends.
Yeah, let's be friends. You can always email us at friends.facts.fiction@gmail.com. You can email us your thoughts and your grief or your congratulatory shit, whatever. Your critiques, if we missed some facts or
if you have
something.
if you have like something like you disagree with and it's 100% staunchly against this, please tickle our fancy so we can laugh at you and send us an email.
Exactly.
It's
and
true.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I mean, just be progressive with your thoughts. That's kind of why we're doing this podcast. But anyway, we're back again, and we're going to continue the coverage on the subject. And we're still here with Mr. Brad Sativa.
Bang, we're in the building. So somebody asked me a question, I'm trying to multitask.
It's all good, man. You out here working, man. You trying to get shit together. I understand, bro. Next year it's going to be the dive off. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, Mr. Drew Shellnut still here.
I'm still here.
And Grant Bramlett is still here.
Yeah,
we're recording again, Grant.
See, Brad's such a G. He came through with the merchandise with him. Mm-hmm. So we just copped some cool-ass hats from him, which I highly advise y'all do, because our next photo shoot is about to be lit with these motherfucking hats.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. My boy's in the building. But, and also make sure you check out Brad Sativa's album, Petty. Check it out. Stream it anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Probably stream it where you're streaming this podcast at, to be honest. But yeah, we're back.
Boom.
Give you some more high facts.
So we ended with that big-ass revolt, right? They're trying to make their way down to St. Augustine and free as many people as they could along the way.
Yeah.
Instead, they got beheaded, and those got put on spikes for all to see along the road.
Where you can still drive on that road to this day.
Yeah, they, increased the rules, made it harsher for any runaways or people trying to revolt or anything like that. But honestly, it didn't stop them at all. Revolts were happening everywhere. Any major city that is or once was one of the 13 colonies, there was at least one revolt there.
Oh, of course,
you can look that up. I mean, some of the ones in New York were brutal.
Bro, they burnt down African orphanages and stuff like that, bro.
Yeah, that was a little later, but I'm sure they did back then too. But One of the coolest one, though, Saint Dominique, which is now Haiti, was a French colony around the close of the American Revolution and the world's largest and coffee sugar producer. It had twice as many slaves than the entire United States on this island.
That's crazy.
And in 1791, they revolted, inspired by the American Revolution, and they fucking won.
And they still wonder, like, how did they know about American Revolution? Because they wasn't stupid, man.
Exactly, yeah. Word travels, regardless.
Word travels.
You know?
Listen, you know what I mean?
Never before in history did this happen. And word actually spread back to America, and Haiti became this huge source of pride for all the African slaves,
of course,
in the Americas, right?
Because Haiti is a good port for trade, and Africans just took that over. Like, this is ours now. Yeah. Holler at you, player.
Yeah, they did a great job for a long time. Yeah, I mean, really. But it goes so far as even like the very first parade of Mardi Gras in New Orleans, the one that starts like stupid early in the morning.
Like 5, 6 in the morning.
It's actually made to wake the city up, right? So if you don't wake up for Mardi Gras during this parade, you may as well be dead.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. That was established by Haitian refugees in the late 1800s.
No, right on.
And it's the oldest parade, as well as the first parade of Mardi Gras. Yeah, pretty cool.
Influential, man.
One of the most debaucherous parades.
Oh, bro. We've been to Mardi Gras. Everybody been to Mardi Gras, right?
Yeah.
I've not been to Mardi Gras, but I've been to New Orleans.
Bro, we got to go to Mardi Gras, homie. I got to take you down there.
That's going to be 2025.
Going around that many people.
It's going to be a few years. It's going to be a few years, but we're going to do that.
Women were like, keep your bees, goddamn it. I'll shake my titties. Stay up there.
Oh, shit. But yeah, Mardi Gras is lit. If you haven't been, go experience Mardi Gras because this shit, for sure. Go do that.
So we're gonna
when you can again, I guess.
right.
Because it's fucked right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. I think. Well, I mean, as an intelligent individual going out and doing things in public, it should be a while.
Well, they had it just for document. This is the year 2020, but they had it this year and right before the quarantine.
Yeah,
and New Orleans became an epicenter.
Yeah,
right after it, bro. Like,
of course.
It's because people out of town bringing it and people catching it and then people infecting the locals. Exactly. Like what's happening here? Like it's like people keep doing all this dumb shit here. It's like, man, if y'all just stay home for like a month.
No,
they should have cleaned up a lot.
No. Or wear a damn mask for 2 weeks. Yeah. If the entire population wears a mask for 2 weeks, you're pretty much out of it.
Yeah,
but for the first like month and a half of quarantine, I only seen 4 people. Y'all 2, my roommate, and the boss we're working on with that construction. Y'all only 4 motherfuckers I seen, bro.
Right.
For like a month and a half. It was like I feel confident, and then I go out it's like a month into quarantine. I'm driving to the construction site. I'm like, damn, traffic's getting thicker. Niggas ain't even wearing masks, bro. Like, niggas is dying. Like, and now it's even worse. It's like, bro, like, but anyway, that's a whole different conversation, man. Slide up out of there, dog. Slide up out of there.
So, Q1776.
Get back in these facts.
1776, that's kind of a year people should actually,
Oh, yeah.
know what was going on there.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. That's kind of But the revolution actually gave slaves hope, thinking that if the colonies get freedom, so will they.
Yeah.
No. Doesn't work that way.
And that's actually that's what they told them too. Kind of.
Exactly.
Like, fight with us and help us.
Fight with us and help us. And it's like, but you still doing the same shit though. That's why slaves started fighting with the Brits.
Yeah. So you had George Washington had a shitload of slaves. Essentially, most of the forefathers, they knew that it was too lucrative not to.
Yeah, a black man was the first person to die in the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, Crispus Attucks.
Yep.
Yeah. We covered that on the
Benny Spank.
Benny Spank episode.
Oh, yeah. Benny Spank.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty quickly, a lot of the slaves realized freedom didn't actually extend to them, and so they just jumped to the British side.
Of course.
20,000 joined, making the British really successful in the southern area.
Yeah. No, they were doing a pretty
early on,
job,
but we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, we all know. But obviously, we won, and the racist slave-owning forefathers built our country.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The location of our capital was to appease the southern slave owners.
Yeah.
There's simply no America without slaves, so why would they abolish it?
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, by the time that we became an actual country, right? But when this became the United States of America, we now had 700,000 slaves.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's crazy.
In 1781, a house slave named Mumbet sued her master in Massachusetts, arguing that slavery contradicts one of the main laws in the new nation, that all men are created equal, and fucking won.
Yeah. And it's need to be documented that a lot of slaves tried to like sue their masters and shit when they got free with like lawyers actually fucking with them. Mumbet was the first one to win, and she kind of started the whole abolishment movement in the North, and that's why the North became a safe haven.
Yep,
it's because of Miss Mumbet.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It trickled north.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
As well.
There was a large evangelical movement that happened though. Around this time as well.
Oh yeah, they kept saying like
all races are equal under God, and a lot of that came from Exodus. But the funny thing is, in 1807, a slave Bible was published, which actually took a lot of the scripture, including the Exodus story, as to not inspire rebellious thinking. There again, don't be free thinking in our country, you know.
Again, think for yourselves and obviously progressive with your thoughts.
Yeah. Think for yourselves, question authority.
Footnote.
You know, it's kind of weird. Some ministers promoted the idea that Africans were the descendants of Ham, cursed in the book of Genesis, and thus their enslavement was fitting.
Yeah, they're basically saying like it's right in a just society to have slaves and for them to be subservient because that's the only way society can work.
Yeah. What?
Like,
oh yeah. They contradict themselves so much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
As they go this way, then they come this way, and
I
they
will
go
say
back
that
the other way. It's like,
during this time, we got really pretty close to the good side of the evangelical movement. Got people thinking about slavery as actually a bad thing.
You mean like they had morals in it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's like the difference between religion and belief and morals are something that's innate, like in you. Right. Religious beliefs has to be put upon you. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's morally wrong. You know, it's morally wrong for me to come over and slap the shit at you in the face, right?
Yeah,
that's morally wrong. I know that. You know what I mean? Like, but. Anyway.
Well, one guy actually managed to convince his master that he was going to hell unless he freed him.
Which is pretty badass.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, like you're gonna go to hell if you don't free me. You know, I mean,
it's true.
That's like using your own master's mastery on them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's basically flipping the script.
It's like a Sith Lord.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
Hey, Star Wars super
bang, bang.
dork over here. Then he moves to Philly, becomes a preacher, was annoyed about the churches being segregated, and he arranged the first ever sit-in, and eventually started his own church.
Yeah.
The first African American church, which was the African Methodist Episcopal Church.
I grew up on
which is still
churches.
around.
Yeah.
You know,
I grew up in one of those churches.
Oh, yeah.
My dad was Episcopal, and my mom was Baptist.
Yeah.
Very cool. And they have 7,000 congregations.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Richard Allen is that badass name, by the way.
Yeah, Richard Allen's a badass dude.
Yeah.
The first sit-in pretty much inspired Rosa Parks.
Yeah, Rosa Parks was a member, and that's what inspired her. Yeah.
Right.
At the end of the 18th century, we got damn close. Some Southerners freed their slaves in small communities. You know, of freed people started popping up and thriving. That money was just too good.
Yeah.
They gotta have the money.
It's like we
so the North
area.
is now basically abolished slavery, right? And then some Southern, plantation owners were starting to free.
Little hot spots.
Well, and then the lawmakers started making it difficult to free their own slaves.
Exactly.
So
and it's like, hey, bro, hold on, you gotta stop letting these slaves go. We need this money to come to the South
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
So I think some of that like anger. I mean, that's gonna. I have to imagine it's gonna instill even more rage, right? So like, America wins the revolution, becomes all men are created equal, and then this movement starts happening, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, this nightmare might finally be over," right? And then the South is like, "No, I'm sorry, we're making too much money. Like, fuck you guys, no." To the point where a dude named Gabriel. He put together a militia and had the plan to invade Virginia's capital and kidnap the governor to end slavery.
Yeah, the homie was out here thugging, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I always remember snitches get stitches, bro. I swear to God, bro.
Yeah. So, but unfortunately, and this is kind of one of those things like we were talking a lot about, like Columbus, Cortez, and Bizarro, whatever, dumb luck for them failing upward.
Failing
whatever.
up.
This is dumb bad luck, right? Because he's got this whole plan put together. It's actually really, really smart.
Bro, he used to meet with them in like a secret area because they were always off on Sunday, you know, because it's holy day. They're always off on Sunday. And they meet up in this field. And he would like, you know, be fucking all empowering, like, brother, we got to do this, we got to do that. This is the route, like all this shit. He had all this shit planned out, like to the T planned out, bro.
But this huge fucking storm came through. I mean, it washed away a lot of the bridges, you know, and
bridges,
tons of
you gotta
trees
think these are dirt roads,
down.
bro. These are fucking shitty bridges. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it delayed his plan long enough to spook a couple of the members of this, you know, this whole plan. They ended up running back to their masters and told on them.
Yeah, again, what Brad was talking about last episode, that Stockholm shit. Yeah, where sometimes you got to kill the motherfuckers that's rocking with you because they're gonna hold you back. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, shit's crazy.
And they were rounded up, tried, and sentenced to death, and publicly hung. So instead of seeing this as a patriot doing his best to uphold the true law of the land, all men are created
He's
equal.
basically doing what they just did to the Brits.
Exactly. Yeah.
Basically. He's like, look, bro, these are my people, and you're the mayor or the governor or whatever. I'm going to come get you. We're going to holler at you real quick. And if we can't get free, you're going to die too, bro. That's what he was trying to do.
Exactly.
And like, you know.
But since he failed or got caught or
sometimes you
whatever,
got weak links. You got weak links in your
history
chain.
is written by the victor, right? And so instead, this kind of solidified the belief of the white citizens that slavery was okay, or at the very least, a necessary evil.
Yeah, because you add a little sprinkle of savage because they're about to go kill people. It's like, bro, y'all been killing people for years now. The fuck you talking about?
Right. And then right around that time, so it's just kind of like bad luck, right? So the cotton gin ends up being invented around that same time. And this machine not only launched the Industrial Revolution, but also cemented the overwhelming quote unquote need for free labor, because cotton used to take one person about 10 hours to process raw cotton into 1 pound of clean usable cotton.
1 pound.
1 pound.
10 hours.
10 hours, right?
And you gotta think, man, they got thorns shown there. You fuck it up, getting blood on there. You fuck.
Yeah,
So you got like 10 hours for 2 t-shirts.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, for real though. I mean, that's fucked up.
Shit's crazy.
But once everybody started utilizing the cotton gin, a lot of these plantations were able to produce thousands of pounds of clean cotton a day.
Yeah, it's like once it got industrialized, like the bigger, the first edition could do like 50 pounds, I think, in a few hours. Yeah, and then once they industrialized that mode, it was like thousands of pounds. Like.
And that actually is the single greatest economic boom in American history. Is the production of cotton, because tobacco was depleting the farmland and it was dropping in value. The textile industry in Great Britain and other parts of Western Europe was really popping off, making the demand for the raw, cleaned cotton really high. So everybody was benefiting
because they wanted to look good. Yeah, they wanted more cotton.
The northern bankers, the northern marketers, obviously the southern cotton plantations. The Western Europeans that had the textile industries. I mean, it was just everybody was fucking getting loaded at really, really quick time. You know,
and to this day, bro, when I ride by a fucking cotton field, it's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Swear to God, it's a back road route to go home where I'm from in Elba, Alabama. What's up? But as a back road, I can go through Brantley and Luverne, and it's a little cotton field. Yeah, it's a little cotton field out there, man. And every time it's just like, just deep breaths. Yeah, I'm gonna throw on some Lauryn Hill. I'm gonna get through this. You know what I'm saying?
Little Erica.
Yeah, Erica Badu, something, bro. Like, fuck it.
So cotton really grew a lot better in the, what we refer to as the Deep South, right? So all those, and it even stretched all the way over through Texas, which wasn't that inhabited at the time. But these cotton farms were so lucrative that everybody just went in, either pushed natives out or killed them, and then replaced them with black slaves.
So they would take the fields where, these natives were growing like corn and fucking sugar cane and shit. Their places just take all that out and just put cotton down.
Right.
So now you got hundreds and thousands of acres of cotton.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah. So here comes the second middle passage. Only this time it was slaves in the Upper South being dragged into the Deep South and sold to cotton farmers.
Which is literally another Django reference in the beginning of Django.
For sure.
That is a second Middle Passage vibe.
That's exactly what they're going through.
Yeah, exactly what
their necks and hands are shackled and they're all chained together and they're forced to walk hundreds of miles.
Yeah, more than 1 million, in fact.
Yeah, more than 1 million.
2.5 times more than the original amount from Africa.
Yeah. I mean, it ends up being like 4 million.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. After they're there.
By the time
sure.
the Civil War kicks off,
Yeah.
there's
Like
4 million slaves.
Yeah, it's the largest forced migration in U.S. history, larger than the Trail of Tears. Mm-hmm. Which is also that's a big number, obviously.
And also they just give you the tip of the iceberg in high school saying Trail of Tears, and it's like Middle Passage too, though. The second Middle Passage, when y'all killed us off. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They don't want to talk about that shit.
Oh no, but that's like I said, people do not want to expose. They want to make these people look like heroes.
Exactly.
And like, in long as you can make like George Washington look like a hero, Thomas Jefferson look like a hero, all these motherfuckers. So that's like I said, that's how you, by keeping this stuff out of history books, that's how you keep like supremacy going. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So even like Thomas Jefferson, like I hate Thomas Jefferson like the most. Everybody usually hate Thomas Jackson. I mean Andrew Jackson, but I hate Thomas Jefferson more than Andrew Jackson.
That's real.
Like, he would contradict himself. He literally jumped back and forth the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with like with Sally. You know what I'm saying? Sally was his wife's half sister. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, literally her father, which he inherited all that stuff from, which he married into money. So that's one thing. It's like everything about Thomas Jefferson is like, I hate it. It's like so.
Yeah. He didn't keep it 100 at all. He kept it more like a 36.
Yeah, he kept backdooring everybody at the end. Even when he died, it's like most of his kids that were slaves, that he enslaved, he wouldn't even let them free. You know what I'm saying? So
it's crazy.
Well, I mean, and with this second passage again, mothers are separated from their children. Couples are split up, and the women were again just raped and pillaged, I guess, if you will. And this lasted for 70 years.
Fucking crazy.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, from this point up until basically the Civil War, this is going on. You know?
Yeah. I mean, hymns were sung by slave families if someone was sold into the Middle Passage.
So
we'll see you again.
They were allowed to
heaven.
stop working and like go watch their people get carted the fuck off from the plantation. And at least they were allowed to even do that. And, that's where you get your Negro hymns that come from, like, either warning somebody that somebody's coming or telling them, I will see you in heaven when they leave, bro. It's fucking deep, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking
well, I mean, and this is the first time that in the history of America that essentially the Deep South becomes the wealthiest.
Yeah, because they got a whole fucking free labor force, bro.
And politics
they don't have to pay anybody for
Politics
shit.
are starting to kind of sway in the South's favor, which was then Democrats. Which is still what Republicans are now today, but for some reason they fucking just kind of switched names.
Yeah, and they like to blame that too. But well, there was a lot of slavery. There was
Democrats. It's like, no, they were still Republicans. Y'all just fucking switched.
Yeah, it's like y'all motherfuckers, y'all still was white. The motherfuckers still was white. So fuck you.
And they still go to where the money's at.
Yeah.
Heck, they don't give a fuck about morals. They go for where the money's at. Look at politics right now today.
And that's unfortunate because it goes on both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and that's 100. I mean, that's always. I mean, that's why almost every year you have a choice between a pile of puke and a shit sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're both. But anyway, it's cheaper to make slaves than buy them.
Like you were talking about earlier, Brad. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
Yeah, it's way cheaper. So I mean, you go from like 400,000 to almost 4 million. At the beginning of the Civil War, from when they came over,
because they start realizing, let's just keep them fucking. Let's keep them fucking. Let's get they probably have breed houses. You know what I mean?
They did. No, that's literally plantations only from breeding. No fields, no nothing. Yeah. You around here, you gonna fuck this person, and it's like that's what they gonna do. That's what
breeding plantation.
It literally was there just for sex.
Yeah. So instead of picking and producing cotton, they were fucking producing humans.
Yeah. And but we also like to mention when we talk about this that you got to understand that they was fucking their relatives though. So you got this was not like they getting like it's not like they were just having this was not an enjoyable experience. It was like they fucking like
it wasn't like they was out here fucking chilling at a brothel and shit.
Their mothers, they fucking like they had them fucking. That's what that term. That's one reason that there's a term, motherfuckers, because the incest that was going on in the South, and also the incest they used, that they put that instilled incest into slavery. Yeah, because it got to the point that even after slavery, it took like overall, like in Maryland. It was like it's like around Baltimore area that was like it was one of the highest incest areas for black people because they was former slaves and that's all they was taught.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes, it's sick, man. It's sick.
Fucking wild. And the shit has like mental trauma that goes so deep that it's almost genetic, and we're still fighting that shit today as a race. You know what I'm saying? As black people, we're still fighting trauma that they went through that we're talking about right now. Because that shit was so deep that it's genetic, bro.
Scientists have found out that trauma does transfer genetically.
Exactly.
So, and that's unfortunate for white people because I did grow up in a situation where I was poor and I was in the situation like you were talking about earlier. I was in a group in a poor area too, but we were the poorest of that. So we had maybe one or two black people that lived in the whole entire area.
Yeah.
And so I was treated like shit. These people around me were trying to still instill these things that had been genetically instilled to them and passed down to them. But for some reason, I think I had too many skull concussions.
Yeah.
Because I actually started to fucking think for myself and shit, you know?
Well, at least that.
Yeah, it's
and pulled myself out of that and saw it as more of a disgusting thing. Like when I was around this talk and around all this, I felt dirty. Like I felt like, why would you even say that? And it's like, it's because it's the way I was raised. Who gives a shit? This way I was raised, and you see how I turned out, pissing all you motherfuckers.
Well, you gotta learn. You got this.
But it's intelligence. That's why. That's
right.
Exactly.
That's why them dumb. That's why I say like they're actually ignorant. I keep
ignorant.
Because they don't understand that they actually just are used as pawns themselves by the Republicans that they pledge their allegiance to. It's like these people are just using you for your votes because they can just pile on issues that they know is going to tick at you and is going to rile you up.
Exactly.
And so that's why these people is like, that's why they eat it. That's why it's funny when they be like, if you make under a certain amount of money and you get mad at black people for voting Democrats, you're an idiot because you're doing the same thing for Republicans.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They literally just boxed you into a whole thing. You're not a free thinker. You don't say you a free thinker. You're literally going through doing the same exact thing.
Exactly. You're just another pawn.
Just one. Yeah. I mean, they don't understand that. It's like people like you see these fucking poor ass white people like talking shit about like Obamacare. It was like, motherfucker, who you know what's gonna help your diabetic ass? Don't you know this? Like,
right.
Don't you know you are literally the person, the people that's gonna help?
Yeah.
But white people don't even understand that they on welfare more than black people though. That's
right.
Like they did like just of sheer numbers of being more white people.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying? That's why. And you know what I'm saying? Like the percentage might be higher in minority communities, but off everything is more white people. It's 40. It's like 40% white people. Right. I think black people maybe 28%, and then the rest is like you know what I'm saying, others. You know, just split up.
Yeah. Right.
And so, but you listen to them, they're gonna tell you that no, it's like everybody else is taking all their taxes. Everybody blame. You know, so that's why it shows you that like the hypocrisy and the idiot how idiot people, like how stupid people are and how idiots they are too. So.
Hypocrisy, idiocracy.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Right?
Idiocracy is a prophecy, not just a movie.
Right.
But that trauma is hard to get past once it's passed down genetically, and that trauma in that case of poor whites, as Dave Chappelle would say, that trauma is the ignorance to not learn more or expand your brain.
What you talking about?
Exactly. Like understand, look deeper into something. My trauma is more so, should I trust this motherfucker?
Right. Yeah.
He looks like me, but should I trust him? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's the type of trauma that we go through on the daily basis, man. Like, just going to the gas station, I'd be like, what's up, bro? Just get a me mug. It's like, damn, nigga, like, And that's literally trauma that's been passed down through slavery, bro.
I say this has like been like for real, this has been the best year for that. Because like even black people realize like, man, we need to take off a layer around other black people.
We need to fucking cut it back a bit and be like, hey, bro, like, are you good, bro? Like, are you good? Because I'm good. Are you good? Like, shit. Like, we all going through this shit together,
yeah,
bro.
for sure. It's like I'm writing a joke kind of about that this is like in the last like year or 2 years has been the most that black men ever cried. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For like a ton of reasons. You know
Definitely.
what I'm saying? And it's like from Kobe Bryant passing away. From you know what I'm saying, the stuff that we've seen on TV, the mental health issues, that just finally addressing some of these things. Yeah. And so yeah, it's kind of a thing with us like crying. And so the joke is that like, so now it's like you call your homeboys, be like, man, I'm like watching Titanic, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. Like, that shit insane. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
finally shed a tear watching the movie, nigga.
Yeah, like so yeah, it's like we finally like take it like so. But that's kind of the gist of the joke. But it is truth based in that, because that's the whole thing. Like I write my jokes based in truth, because it's like it's like, man, it's hard to watch stuff now. Like it's hard to watch something like the George Floyd tape and not get like fucking like
emotionally charged, bro.
Emotionally charged. It's send a fire through your definitely. And then like the Ahmaud Arbery, all these videos. It's hard to watch these videos and not get like riled up.
What's up? What's happening, world? This is Justin, Drew, and Grant from Friends, Facts, and Fiction podcast, and we're here to talk about Anchor.fm, the easiest way to make a podcast. Let's talk about it.
It's free.
It's free.
They have all these creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Anchor will also distribute your podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I mean, anywhere you can really find a podcast, they'll throw it out there, bro.
And with no minimum listenership, they will also help you gain money.
Boom. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. I mean, download the free app right now, bro. What you waiting on? Let's go. It's gotten to the point, bro, like if I'm driving, because, you know, I get fucking profiled all the time with the car that I drive, and like just me. But like if I'm driving, I see a black dude pulled over, man, I'll hit a circle real quick and just come back around and make sure sometimes, bro, like at this point. Because it's like, goddamn, like I don't need none of this shit going down on my watch. I ain't gonna just pass by. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, these motherfuckers fucked. They're fucked up out here.
Yeah, it's real fucked up out here.
I mean, the explosion, like I said, from 400,000 to 400 million was actually kind of weird too. It was the first time in history that the slave population actually grew, because before the slave population just kind of stayed the same. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about with like breeding houses and stuff like that.
They had the breeding plantations.
Right. Yeah. But also got to take this into account as well. Every time a white person had a kid with a black person, that was counted as black as well.
Yeah. Right. That's true.
That's very true. And that's something something that they kind of hate these days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it makes the black race dominant.
So that's why it's like that number grew, because they, like I said, you got one drop of black blood in you. You know what I'm saying?
You're black.
So
Tiger Woods.
That
Barack
1%.
Obama. Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the torture got worse, because, you know, it's hard to control, more people. So they had to torture more people to make more examples. Right. Which is so fucked up. But in 1831, it started the bloodiest revolt, period. 60 whites were killed in 2 days. They went from house to house, and they killed, they would kill whole families. And guess who we're talking about?
Yeah. Nat Turner, that's my boy.
Yeah.
I fucks with Nat
So
Turner.
he led this and claimed that God told him to do it, you know? Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Bro.
For real.
Yeah,
straight up.
Go
I mean,
on.
because you've got people who are already under that I believe this
people
way.
that think
that
God told them they should be slaves, he's doing the same shit. It's like God told me to, like, let's say fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely.
And essentially close to what we were talking about before in the whole field thing, a militia of whites showed up and took them out.
Right. Yeah.
And
they fucking went for their throats too, bro.
Hard and heavy.
I was just about to say that's really how like the police got started. Yep. Like the deputies and the sheriffs and all that stuff because of that.
They start patrolling the fucking shit at night on horseback. Yeah. And watching the fucking trails and the fucking the little roads, I guess you would say.
I mean, at this time they're probably scared. You know what I mean?
But they're frightened as fuck. These people you think are dumb as shit can just get strapped and fuck you up.
You know what I mean? Because but that's why they went so hard on the mine and with the guns, because physically, like they made these people stronger faster
Exactly.
than them. So if you're smarter than them, it's like, how the fuck can we beat you?
Exactly.
So we have to keep you dumb.
We have to take books from you. We have to take
We
this
have
from
to.
you. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Bro.
But on the bright side of this whole thing, this actually becomes international news. I mean, not just national news.
Oh, yeah.
It's also a pretty dope ass
international
movie
news.
too. Came out like 2 or 3 years ago. I think it's Nat Turner or
It's
something.
farther than that. It's probably
three,
about
4?
4 or 5
Oh
now. Probably.
damn.
Yeah.
Well, 2020 got my time all fucked up, bro. Like, shit, I think Chronic 2001 dropped last year. But no.
Yeah, it was a lot. That's a whole situation with that behind that movie though.
Yeah, because he went through some cancel.
Yeah, he went through a council.
The dude that stars in it, he went through like a celebrity council situation. But the movie is amazing.
You get me too, is what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we might as well. Okay, so we're gonna talk about like it's so the whole thing is that he was in college and him and his roommate they had where they both was encountered with a white girl. They were like I don't know. I wasn't there, so I'm not gonna say no innocent or guilty. I'm not. I don't know that.
Yeah.
So it either was an assault or it was a threesome. You know what I'm saying? Or like a train or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what they side was, and then her story was another story.
I remember that.
And then, see, the whole thing that all that happened though before his acting career ever started. It wasn't like in the middle. And so
And see what's fucked up about it is this was all chill and cool until he produced, wrote, and directed and starred in a movie where he played Nat Turner and showed this in a fucking Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
It got snatched from theaters. I think it had like just like a soft release or something.
they got it snatched right. And so that's the only reason. Like it's like, I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it's kind of fishy to come out now when he about to expose some shit about real history.
The
you know what I'm
timing of
saying?
it was kind of off.
Kind of
Yeah,
wild.
because I mean,
in all respect to women that go through things, sorry,
Yeah, definitely.
for
Yeah,
y'all.
that's what I said.
Y'all
That's what I said.
deaf.
I didn't want to.
Yeah, we're not victim
anything,
shaming or nothing like that, like at all.
It should have been nipped in the bud early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that should have been talked about.
I will say that that's a pretty convenient thing because that's basically sparked the Civil War. This is the beginning of everything ramping up.
Yeah, Nat Turner was the precursor to like, all right,
Yeah,
they
because
probably need to stop doing this.
Britain had just abolished slavery, right? The North had abolished slavery for a long time at this point.
I mean,
And-
at this point, there's fucking the Underground Railroad and everything. It's starting to spark up. It's starting to get safe houses set up
Right.
to start the Underground Railroad in these abolished states. You know what I mean? Like,
So that's basically forced Southern planners to launch this really shitty marketing campaign, pretty much. You know, where some of the quotes remember like slavery is the possibility of perfecting the human condition. Slavery was described as natural, permanent, and then probably one of the worst things to come out of this is phrenology. The scientific study of the size and shape of your cranium.
Yeah.
And coming to conclusions, very, very wrong conclusions, by the way. That
black people were a different genetic code and their brains were smaller,
mentally inferior. And,
but
Came
their
from monkeys,
bodies,
but we didn't.
their bodies were more physical and like built for this type of labor,
Right.
but their brains weren't meant to like do what we
So,
do.
yeah.
Also, a great album by The Roots.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it is fantastic.
Phrenology.
But the horrible thing is that it worked, even in the North. I mean, racists up there.
Oh, yeah. That's
ate
when they
this
start burning
shit
them
up
orphanages and shit I was talking about last
immediately.
episode.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, they start just burning anything that was owned by black people in
Right.
New York. Like, because you got to think, slavery is abolished, but these white folks are still pissed and don't want to see black people
still
nowhere.
racist as fuck,
We're still
yeah.
racist as a motherfucker. You know, they just can't own them.
And so, I mean, if it came from,
You know what I mean? Like,
instead of it being like a slavery system, where it was basically like a caste system
Yeah.
up there. You know what I mean? To where like black people were not going to get the good jobs. They were not
you
going to
got
be
you
let
got
into the
this
good
area,
schools.
you
They
got
were not-
this school, you
Yeah.
got this job, and that's it. That's the
Segregation.
cutoff.
Exactly. Yeah.
We gave y'all enough, right?
Right.
Y'all good now.
See, but that one that within that story, that's where I know y'all gonna eventually get into this, but that kind of mentality is what backfired on white people themselves because it started creating us to fuck with each other. So if it would be one grocery store, it would be
Keeping
one
the money
person,
in the community.
keeping the money in the
Exactly.
community.
Exactly.
And so they started building these communities. They was like, oh no, like y'all, we need to be in this.
Oh yeah. Oh
And,
no.
yes.
Literally, next episode we open up with the little thing that happened up in Tulsa.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know y'all getting that, but even before then, like even like I said, every time that happened, it happened in Wimbledon, that happened Wimbledon, North Carolina, that happened in Florida,
it happened down in the Delta.
It happened so many places where they, like I said, they forced us to do our own,
and then we started doing our own. We were cool. We were chilling. It was like, hey, hold on now, wait, hold on. Y'all got a lot going on over there. We're gonna need some of that too.
Every time.
Every time.
But historically, even to like even the sports, like because if you look back historically, all the sports were segregated, and so all these historically black colleges were created because we could not share the same schools.
Right.
But then the years passed, that you get these athletic programs, and then once they seen all these black athletes in the only schools that they could go to start succeeding,
it's like, oh, we need some of that.
We need some of them, even from your home state.
Alabama was like the first motherfucking. Wasn't Bear Bryant one of the first ones?
No, he wasn't the first one. One of the first ones. He was like he had to. He invited USC to play him.
Yeah, and they had the black players.
They had the black
that's what it
players,
was.
and the black players.
He convinced the South to be like, hey.
Yeah, he convinced his fan base that they needed black athletes by getting their ass whooped by a team that was better than them. That had black, So that's bad when you have to trick your own fan base.
Yeah.
But,
right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's but once they start seeing these Walter Paytons that went to these, like even TSU, like the Nashville's TSU and Figs, but TSU specifically for like basketball and football. A lot of NFL greats come from there because they was forced to go to these schools, and and now it's a resurgence of that. Now it's a lot of these younger like basketball players, which is a lot easier to convert. Because you're only 5 people playing at a time. So if you get like 2 or 3 decent players from like a national, so it's a lot of like national known players want to play for HBCUs now.
Especially with all the shit happening this year, 2020, it's been lit. Yeah, it's been major football players too. Actually, some of them have transferred to HBCUs just because it's like, fuck this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it stems from what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. So like a lot of the free black people in the North that have been freed, for a very long time at this point. So they've had plenty of opportunity to educate themselves and function within society, even if it was their own little, segregated society.
They're creating their own societies. They're representatives of their cities and shit. But like this goes into like, after all this, they're senators, they're fucking governors, they're mayors and all type of shit.
So they began pushing for abolition in the South with the idea of if all of us aren't free, then no one is.
Exactly.
Total fucking perfect sense.
Wasn't that supposed to be the whole thing from the jump, motherfucker? They just everybody that wrote that thing we call Constitution also owned slaves. Yeah. So it wasn't truly meant. It was meant for them, not for all. Because they were all, I guess,
getting to that point, which is great. And there were lots and lots of white abolitionists that were, working alongside them. Well, kind of alongside them, but they were still pushing the same agenda, which is pretty good. And that's where our boy Frederick Douglass comes into
Freddie D. That's the homie right there, man.
So,
like, he's the epitome of the American dream, dog. Came from that, abandoned as a kid, had no.
It's 6 years old.
6 years old, abandoned, bro.
On a plantation.
Yeah, just taken by a lady that raised him and just dropped it on a plantation. Boom. Okay, figure it out. Then becomes one of the leading faces of the abolition movement, and also is one of the most photographed men of his time.
That's true, actually.
Because that fucking afro with the part inspired my first little afro. You remember the afro with the part I had? Yeah, that's Freddie D. Inspired.
Yeah, so he was enslaved for 14 years. He escaped 3 times. The 3rd time he was finally successful. Yeah. Right? And he had it planned the fuck out. Because he bounces from like city to city to city to city, like real quick overnight little jumps and hiding out during the day.
He would hop on trains like at specific times to make sure he got to specific places. Right. And that's how like informed he was on his land and like how much he studied how to fucking get out of this shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he orchestrated this shit like and to the T.
Finally makes it to Massachusetts, which he can like rest.
Yeah, because that's where Mom Betts did her thing. Yeah, that's the beginning of abolition.
So he spends,
which is funny because Boston is like one of the most racist cities in America. Yeah, right. But anyway,
writing his autobiography and the story of him, his trauma as a child, really inspired a lot of people. And ends up. also a very good public speaker, right? So he became this black voice for white abolitionists.
Bro,
which they
the
needed.
first speech that he had, the white leader of abolition, let him speak with his first speech.
Yeah.
And after he got done speaking, it was so inspiring that literally the white dude hopped up and was like, now does this man need to be a slave? And the whole crowd was like, no. Like fucking like, you know what I mean? Like after his first speech, bro. So like he was instantly like popped up to
and they hired him on the
face.
spot, man. He became a lecturer for the anti-slavery committee.
But also I'm always a half empty looking thinking motherfucker. But it's also like one of the first times they ever heard a black man probably speak that well.
Exactly. Blew that well. He's like well spoken.
Yeah,
he knows how to control a narrative. Like
it's like probably blew their mind. It was like them seeing like a ghost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Bro, you have no idea how many times I'm sure you've been in the same situation.
For sure.
Token black dude spot at a bar and like some random's like, "What's up, bro?" I was like, "What's going on, man? What's good with you?" Oh, you thought I was? Oh. So now can we just acknowledge you racist, or can I just keep walking? You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm gonna keep it moving, bro. I'm gonna go shoot some pool. Nigga.
Or like that guy that time said you were the smartest black guy he's ever talked to. Like that.
I'd never forget that shit in college, bro. I walked straight away because if I didn't walk away, I was gonna throw his ass off that balcony. You seen that shit too? I was about to throw him off that balcony. I was like, nope, I'm gonna walk inside. I'm gonna go inside.
I'd slap the shit out of him.
Yeah,
I'll talk so bad to him.
Yeah,
I'm like, you the dumbest white I talk to. I'm disrespectful.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah, I'm so that. Like,
hey, bro, your album name is Petty.
Yeah, I learned it early though. It's like because that's why I learned it early because I went to a pretty much an all white middle school.
Oh,
I was the only black dude in my grade. There was only one black girl, and it was. And so it was because of that I had a chip on my shoulder. It was like even at like third or fourth grade, I'm knowing like, oh no, I gotta let them know that I'm fucking like one of the smartest motherfuckers here. I gotta know that like so I went hard, learned like on the like the stuff that counted, mathematics, science, stuff that really count. You know, so I really studied that because I was like, nah, fuck y'all.
Yeah, you ain't about to over fucking step me on that shit.
It's like so, you can't disrespect me and like and so. Yeah, that's why I learned to be quick tongue and be like I said, I be mean. Like this year I've been telling white people some of the most disrespectful shit, man. Like for real.
Hey, it's due this year, bro.
This year's due. Because like people that like they think nigga like is like the level. It's like nah, bro. Like nigga can't hurt me. Like you say it to me, I definitely would like want to fuck you up.
Oh yeah, I'll get turned for sure.
But I can hurt you worse. I can say shit so I tell people like I'm like, bro, your grandparents burning in hell right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like me, ma, and Pop burning in hell. Racist. You know what I'm saying? So like I go so personal for them, man. I look them in the eyes and tell them shit that's so mean.
It's like, no, you know where you come from? Do you know where you come from?
They Christians though. They was Christian, they racist, they burning in hell. Like so don't argue with me. You know what I'm saying? Argue with that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
gonna hit you with these hot facts real quick.
Yeah, that's why I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's some of my favorite shit ever, bro. It's like literally like when somebody thinks they got you pegged, especially the situation that we be in, white person think they got you pegged and you hit them with a fact they didn't even know. And then when they do that look off, I'm like, my job here is done. Like, yeah, fuck you, bro. Like, who you thought I was?
Well-spoken black man strikes again.
I hate that shit.
Exactly.
I hate to learn something from a black dude. That dude that hate that shit.
And that's what surprised me about Frederick Douglass is because he was teaching these motherfuckers something. They was like, oh yeah, let's listen to him.
So I mean, he forced slavery into national politics. You know, like the idea, you know, when the next president's running, when you know, like the primaries are coming up, all that kind of shit, they started like slavery was always in the talking points. You know. Which it wasn't before, you know, and all the while the Underground Railroad's being invented, and reality, and in propaganda. Like it did a lot of great shit, but more importantly, that's a fucking good story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, well, at the same time, people don't realize like how many safe spots there were for this Underground Railroad, man. Yeah. Like they were like all across the state lines of these abolished states to the states that were not abolished. There was fucking 20, 30 of these houses, like miles and miles apart. So you can go in any direction and eventually get to a safe house, basically. Right. And they would just give you right up to the north and get you a part of the abolition movement. You know, like, bro.
Or Canada.
Yeah, or Canada. Yeah. Which Harriet Tubman ended up there her damn self.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. So 20,000 slaves made it to freedom, which is amazing. But it incurred the Fugitive Slave Act, right? Requiring Northerners to return slaves, making the North basically a police state to the South, right? Because the South, again, has basically all the fucking money. You know, the North has banks and stuff that keeps the South's money, and they have ports and stuff where they're shipping the South's exports. But for the most part, the South still has all the goddamn money,
all the money, bro. And then when you say just return slaves, it's like at that time, if a white person claimed a black person was a slave, they were just a slave.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's no paperwork there. You got to say there's no database.
Well, there were black people that were born free at this point.
Exactly. You know? Exactly. And they could literally be snatched up. I think this is the slave. And like,
off the street. Off the street in the middle of the day. They could be like, oh, there's one.
Bro, it's like right now.
Familiar.
It's like that's what I say. It's like right now when I'm driving my Mercedes with the top down, I pass a cop at 10 at night. It's like, I could get shot or pulled over right now. So I'm going to just pull over my damn self and go to the gas station real quick. You know what I mean? Like, straight up.
So, dude, a lot of them hopped over the border to Canada, because Canada, if you think about it, is kind of America is to white Christians, is Canada is to black fugitives, or not even fugitives, people that were just in fear of becoming labeled as fugitives.
In fear of being like, oh, he's a criminal.
Yeah. So in the 1850s alone, 10,000 black people went over the Canadian border and finally got what they've been looking for.
Including the homegrown.
Which is such a small number, though.
It's really
such a small number.
10, to 4 million?
Yeah,
to 4 million?
Yeah.
That's a blink.
Yeah, so exactly like you said, these are all really inspiring stories, and I think that's one of the main important things is the idea of like good propaganda finally spurring the almost trying to force the South into abolition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of course that gets us into the Civil War, But one of those stories is this family, the Garners.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They were claimed to have been runaway slaves, right? And so they're forced on the run, which I'm pretty sure they were free.
Yeah.
They were freed.
Yeah.
But they knew that they had to get, because they were coming out of Kentucky at this point, so they had to get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Kentucky to Ohio, which is that river right there.
Which is just a river.
Shouts out to Kim Gooch. She's out there in Covington, I believe, which is right there where they ran to, actually. Right on that fucking border. Covington to Cincinnati, basically.
Oh, Cincinnati.
But it was,
Kentucky.
It was in the middle of the winter, and it was frozen, right? The river itself, in this one part, right? So they walked across the frozen river, which can go at any second. I mean, you can go right up underneath that ice. You're gone.
Hey, bro. I would rather fucking walk over a thin ice river than fucking get captured again.
Yeah.
So that's their thought. Like, fuck it, book it across the damn river.
They make it, right? And unfortunately, news travels that they have escaped, whatever. And the house that they escape into or they're hiding out in or whatever is surrounded
by marshals,
Yeah, and marshals surround the house, and they're trying to break in the door and get in there any way they possibly can, to the point where like townspeople are now like coming out and be like, what the fuck is all this going on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Margaret Garner realized that this was a lost deal or whatever, and ended up killing her daughter, slit her throat.
Yeah.
And they took her to jail, of course. And she said
she tried to kill her two boys too, but she didn't have enough time to get to them, and they found them in another room, hiding, beaten, and bruised, where she was trying to get to them, but they got away, and she just turned and slit her daughter's throat.
She still said that she'd do it again, and her regret is that she didn't get to kill everyone, including herself, because she
thought she was being a good mother.
Yeah.
Because she'd rather them die than go through what the fuck she's been through.
I mean, in that situation, I think that is being a good mother.
It's like what Killmonger said in Black Panther, dog. And then, all the while, Civil War was cracking off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, all this Fugitive Slave Act stuff's going on. And, I mean, like, you have to imagine how fucking chaotic this must be.
Chaotic as shit.
For everybody.
Yeah. And then you also got slaves going to fight, the people that are fleeing going to fight for the Union. So, eventually, that makes the Union stronger. You know what I'm saying? But also, they're forced to fight in the South. All this shit, Yeah. And then after, of course, the Civil War, the Union winning.
I mean, one of the bloodiest, war that we've ever dealt with. Very short-lived, but the amount of casualties.
Most casualties ever in any war we've been in, I believe.
Yeah, exactly, which we're not going to talk that much about the Civil War. There's too many people that talk too much about the fucking Civil War.
Yeah, we're talking about Reconstruction period, and where you get to the Reconstruction period, and, there's this group the Brown Coalition, and they literally come together and basically demand that they get a piece of this land that's been confiscated by the Union. And this is where the whole 40 acres and a mule thing kind of comes about. It was started by black people trying to uprise and say, we deserve this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, Lincoln was like, cool, bro. Like, we'll try to divvy it up for y'all. You know what I'm saying? We'll try to make this happen for y'all. Mm-hmm. And then less than a year later, Lincoln decides to go see a little play. Mm-hmm. And he never really recovers from that play. I hope Lincoln it was entertaining as fuck. But
what he was quietly trying to do is actually send all the black people back to Africa.
Which big facts. Hot facts.
Shit right there.
Yep. Hot facts. Hot facts. So this was like a little look at this shiny thing while I just work on sending y'all back. That's what that was. Oh, look at this. Look at these hot facts, bro. The Roy Jones Jr. The fucking. But yeah. Next episode, we're gonna dive into. Your boy Andrew Johnson pretty much was like, fuck it, we can give the land back to the fucking plantation owners and all that. And then that gets into like Confederacy shit. We're going to dive into all that next episode.
Yeah.
But
places like somewhere really close to here, Pulaski. We might jump into that a little bit.
Yeah.
So if any of you guys know anything about Pulaski or don't, you about to get learnt.
About to get learnt. You about to learnt on a whole group of people that... we're the first to really like kill people that are in the army and take over states. But anyway, this has been the first 2 Blackout episodes. We might have 1 or 2 more of these, so strap up. But next week we're probably gonna take a little break from the darkness. Give you a little friend episode or something. You know what I'm saying? Man, like. Brad, I appreciate you coming out.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Being here. You know what I'm saying? If you want to throw out your tags again, let people know where to hit you up at.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, my album out. Patty is on all the major streaming sites.
Boom.
Also, my YouTube is like Brad Sativa since. It's an artist page now, so it's got everything I've done locked in.
Oh, right.
And then on Instagram, Brad Sativa for the hats, Sativa BNA, all one word on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then Twitter is the real Brad Sativa.
Real Brad Sativa.
But yeah, just definitely check me out, man. Hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm out and about, all in the Southeast, but I am based out of here, and we'll be here for a while just because of the pandemic shit. So
straight up, the big homies here, and I'm Justin Hammonds, and I'm gonna say love, live life, y'all. Because it's worth living.
I'm Drew Shellnut, and I'm going to say stay informed and make a fucking difference.
Please.
There you go.
Bang, bang.
Grant Bramblett here. Never liked you. Sorry about it. But I always loved you. All of you. Loved you.
Anyway, y'all, this has been episode 10.2 of Friends, Facts, and Fiction. And we out.
Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode. Find us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on everything Friends, Facts, and Fiction. Our Instagram handle is friends_facts_fiction. As always, please reach out to us. You can send any of your questions, praise, and fact-checking to friends_facts_fiction@gmail.com. It's important to us to only propagate the truth, and we will correct any errors we may have made. This has been a production of Friends, Facts, and Fiction.